the only 5 exercises you need for a gigantic chest. The chest is one of the most prominent muscle groups when it comes to body aesthetics, because, along with the abdomen, it forms practically the entire front of the physique. A strong and well-developed chest draws attention, exudes strength, and undoubtedly contributes to a more balanced silhouette. In the same vein, a weak chest may give the impression of an incomplete, poorly defined physique, lacking the visual impact that many desire. This happens because, when we fail to train the chest in a truly comprehensive way, we end up with underdeveloped areas that impair the harmony of the torso, and consequently the overall aesthetics. That is why today you will see the 5 essential exercises for a complete chest workout with execution tips and corrections for common mistakes, ensuring that every part of the muscle is effectively stimulated for a truly imposing development. Before we begin the exercises, it is fundamental to clarify the most common mistake in chest training that causes most people not to achieve good results in this muscle. Of course, one could say that some people do not execute the exercises well, but the fact is that there is another even worse mistake. Many believe that any chest exercise targets the muscle uniformly. In practice, the chest is composed of 3 main portions: upper, middle, and lower. Each of them plays a specific role in the appearance and functionality of the torso. If you do not choose exercises tailored for each portion, you run the risk of overworking one area while neglecting another, which results in a visible imbalance in the musculature and possibly joint pain. It is common to see people doing various types of bench press, for example, without realizing that they are almost always focusing on the same part of the chest, or only performing push-ups without varying the angle of execution. This type of partial approach may generate some muscle gain, but it will hardly lead to a complete chest. 4. Understanding the basic anatomy and the angles of exercise execution is essential to extract the maximum from each workout. Now that you understand this, let's move on to the exercises. Exercise 1. Decline push-up. Let's start with the upper portion of the chest, often considered the most difficult to develop in a chest workout. If the clavicle is very prominent, focusing on this area can help add volume, softening the appearance of protruding bones. The decline push-up is a simple yet extremely effective exercise because it uses only your body weight and can be done anywhere, needing only a support to elevate your feet. When we hypertrophy the upper region, we ensure a higher appearance of the chest, highlighting the contour near the shoulders and creating an imposing physique. If you feel that the top of your chest is underdeveloped, incorporating this movement into your routine can be a game changer. To perform the decline push-up, place your feet on a bench, step, or platform so that they are higher than your hands. Your palms should remain on the floor at shoulder width or slightly wider, depending on your level of comfort. It is important to maintain body alignment without arching your lower back or letting your hips drop. In this exercise, the torso is slightly inclined downward, enhancing the recruitment of fibers in the upper chest. As you lower your body, do so in a controlled manner, feeling the stretch of the muscle fibers. Then push yourself back up until your elbows are almost extended, avoiding locking them completely to preserve tension in the muscle. Many people underestimate the power of push-up variation, but they can be as effective or even more effective than barbell or machine exercises, especially for those seeking variety and functionality. A key caution is not to let your elbows flare out too widely, forming very wide angles that could overload the shoulders. Nor should you keep your arms too close to your torso, which would limit chest activation and might transfer effort to the triceps and anterior deltoids. Aim for a moderate angle that allows you to feel the chest as the main driver of the movement. If you want to intensify the exercise, there are variations such as placing your hands on an unstable surface, for example, gymnastic rings, or using a weighted vest. However, the most important thing is to ensure the quality of execution before adding extra challenges. Your breathing should follow the flow of the movement. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you push up. This helps with core stability and oxygenation of the muscles. In addition, keep the head aligned with the spine without dropping the chin too low or looking upward excessively. When poorly executed, the decline push-up can generate excessive tension in the shoulders and neck and reduce proper activation of the upper chest. Exercise 2. Inclined dumbbell bench press. Continuing the focus on the upper portion, the inclined dumbbell bench press is a classic for those who wish to increase the volume and definition of the top of the chest. The main advantage of using dumbbells instead of a barbell is the freedom of movement, which favors positional adjustments for each person. Reducing excessive tension in the shoulders and elbows, Adityanaji, each side of the body works independently, correcting possible imbalances in strength or size. Another advantage of the inclined dumbbell bench press is the possibility of gradually altering the angle of the bench, experimenting with different degrees of inclination to find the best activation point for your upper chest. Furthermore, if needed, you can perform a slight internal rotation of the dumbbells at the top, bringing the hands even closer, which increases chest contraction. However, do not overdo the rotation to the point of generating discomfort in the shoulders. To execute it, adjust the bench to an inclination between 30 and 45 degrees. Sit and firmly position your feet on the ground, as this support base is essential for stabilizing the torso. Lie down slowly, bringing the dumbbells to chest height with the palms facing forward or slightly inclined inward according to wrist comfort. Start the movement by pushing the dumbbells upward and toward the center without letting them collide at the top. Keep your shoulders retracted, preventing them from rising toward the ears. During the descent, control the pace, feeling the stretch in the upper chest fibers. Avoid excessively arching the lower back, a common mistake when trying to compensate for lack of strength. Keeping a firm core helps stabilize the spine and maintain tension in the chest. Aim for a controlled cadence, ensuring good time under tension. If the load is too heavy to maintain proper form, reduce the weight and prioritize execution. Elbow position is crucial. Elbows flared too wide overload the shoulders, while elbows too close shift the effort to the triceps. Seek a moderate angle that allows intense chest activation without joint discomfort. Also, avoid forcing the wrists into unnatural positions. Exercise 3. High pulley crossover. Now moving to the lower portion of the chest, we have the high pulley crossover. This isolation movement emphasizes the lower chest line, outlining the contour at the base of the thorax. Good development of this region provides a more cohesive look between the chest and abdomen. Adjust the pulleys above shoulder height and hold each handle. Position yourself in the center. Step forward to create initial tension and maintain a stable base with one leg slightly ahead. The torso should be slightly inclined forward without excessive curvature of the spine. Pull the cables downward and inward as if bringing your hands together in front of your hips. Control the return phase and avoid letting the weights rise quickly. Maintain a moderate bend in the elbows and focus on feeling the stretch and contraction in the lower chest. Avoid excessive swinging or using loads that compromise technique. Keep the abdomen firm and shoulders stabilized to protect the lower back and neck. Exercise 4. Pullover. The pullover is a versatile exercise that can target both the chest and the back, but with technique adjustments, it emphasizes the lower chest. Lie on a bench with the shoulder blades supported and hold a dumbbell above the chest with slightly bent elbows. Lower the weight behind the head until you feel a stretch without discomfort, then return it by contracting the chest. Avoid using momentum and control the movement throughout. Breathing should be coordinated, inhaling on the descent and exhaling on the return. Proper execution ensures the chest remains the primary muscle involved. Exercise 5. Dumbbell fly. Finally, we have the dumbbell fly aimed at the middle portion of the chest. This region is crucial to eliminate gaps and create a fuller appearance. Lie on a flat bench, hold a dumbbell in each hand, and lower the arms outward in a wide arc. Feel the stretch. Then bring the dumbbells back together without touching them. Keep shoulder blades stable. Avoid excessive arching of the lower back and maintain constant tension. Use moderate loads to reduce injury risk and ensure proper muscle activation. By combining exercises for the upper middle and lower portions, you build a complete chest and avoid imbalances. For each of the 5 exercises, perform 3 to 4 sets with 8 to 12 repetitions, adjusting the load to your conditioning level. Always prioritize technique over heavy weight. Controlled movement and proper alignment ensure better hypertrophy and long-term safety. Now you know which exercises to perform and how to execute them correctly. By applying these principles consistently, you will develop a stronger, fuller, and more harmonious chest. Thank you for watching until now, and may God bless you.